Hi, and welcome back to Poltergeist Board Games. Today I had the pleasure and honor of bringing you a sneak peek of Vincent Cooper's new game that's still under development called Bloody Lane. A little back history on Bloody Lane. This battle takes place on September 7th, 1863, between two farms, the Roulette and the Piper Farm, near Sharpsburg, Maryland. Union soldiers under direction of Lieutenant Sedgwick and Lieutenant French moved southward toward Sunken Road, which would later be named Bloody Lane due to the amount of casualties. The Confederate soldiers under direction of General Rhodes of Alabama and G.B. Anderson of North Carolina were lying in wait in a sunken road out of view of oncoming Union soldiers. When the two opposing forces were mere yards away, the order to fire was given to Confederate soldiers. The first volley was told to be shocking, as it nearly decimated the Union's front line. For 2 hours, they traded volleys of musket fire at each other, as the casualties mounted and mounted, until noon, when men of the Union's 61st and 64th New York regiments broke through the center line of the Confederate forces. Now being able to provide flanking fire, the Confederate forces were forced to retreat, and providing a hollow victory for the Union, considering the casualties, which numbered a total of 5,400 men for both sides. In this game book by Vincent Cooper, you are the Confederate forces in Bloody Lane, defending against waves of attacking Union soldiers. You must balance your limited ammo and supplies in order to outlast and defeat the Union soldiers. There are also artillery battles between both sides, but be careful because the opposing artillery can target your supply line. Do you have what it takes to command these Confederate forces and repel the Union attacks? So I'd like to thank the team that I'm working with, mainly Vincent Cooper, for letting me join, Shane Freshwater, Glenn Saunders, David Busbridge, and Martin Fenwick Charlesworth. So now, this is the main game board here. This will be a game book, so you can write in it, or you can print the counters and play with the counters. This is still under work, so all these artwork and depictions are not final. So up here you have Tompkins artillery. They will fire on either your artillery or your supply line. These are the tracks that the Union soldiers will be coming down. And let me give you like a little kind of a visual of what we're talking about here. So here's a map. Here's Sunken Road. This is where you're going to be defending here. Here's the Roulette Farm. Here's the Piper Farm. So the Union forces were coming down from the south here and coming into Sunken Road here. And then they were attacked by the Confederates and had their battle there. So that's kind of what the battlefield looked like. There's kind of an interesting story that by this Roulette Farm here, the 132nd Regiment of Pennsylvania, which was a volunteer unit, was coming through this farm area, and there were crates of bees that were stacked up, and they knocked them over, and the bees just swarmed through the regiment, attacking them. Here's a picture. It's very, very hard to see, but these are the crates right in here. But anyways, just thought that was an interesting little anecdote. Okay, so each, there's different levels. We're going to play level 1, and you have a battle sheet. And this battle sheet is very well put together so that it follows along as the game goes. You have your sequence of play here. You have your turn tracker highlighted in blue. These are when the Union can add reinforcements. You have your supply phase. You have a limited amount of ammo, so you need to be careful. Every time you put an ammo out, you have to mark it off. Same with reinforcements. And your orders are unlimited. Artillery phases. The Union supply line fire. You have to look at the counters. It'll determine what the die roll should be. Confederate, you hit on a 2 to 4. Tompkins, you hit on a 2 to 5, and that's a Union up here at the top. And then off to the side, you have a Tidballs who hit on a 2 to 3. They're an extra 3 cannons that attack you. Then you have a Union event phase, and you track them here. This is turns 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, and 16 to 20. So what I do is I put like a 1 for turn 1. You do this 4 times per turn. And then you have your Union deployment phase, Union action phase. This is when the Confederates targeted, you roll. Confederate action phase, and then you have the descriptions of each action. Same here. You have the for each action here, you have a description here. So very well thought out. This is your deployment table. So first off, you set up the board with your regiments here. These are the Confederates. It tells you where to place them. They start off with a cohesion value of 5. Every time they take a hit, it goes down 1. You have 4 officers. They can get hit, and that's the amount of orders that are able to be given during the game. You have a smoke space in case there's smoke. It'll limit your attacking ability. And then you have, these are your tracks that they come down. Like I said, your battery here, you have, this keeps track of your ammo. Every time you reload, you put one of these counters in called a mighty ball, and you put that on there. This is your supply line. So it goes down this track here and then ends up in orders. So you have to be careful with the artillery. If the artillery is going after your supply line, you don't want it to hit your ammo or your reinforcements, because it wipes it right out, and then you don't get it for that upcoming turn when it appears. So that's it about the board. So the first thing, according to the sequence, is supply phase. So we're gonna, first thing I'm gonna do is don't need to do any reinforcements, don't need to do any ammo. So I'm gonna do orders. So there's this orders chit here, token. And here are the numbers on the bottom. So that dash means that it can't get hit there. If it's in the middle square, a 2, we'll take it out. And then if it's in the last, a 2 to 3. So we start with orders. Now orders, once it gets into this space, it'll allow you to re-roll a die. Okay, so the next is the reset the Confederate artillery phase. So once you fire these, they get flipped over to artillery reloading. So if it was like that, then you would reset it. So that's not done on the first turn. And then Confederate artillery phase. So I will show you what this looks like. So we have to hit on a 2 to 4, and you roll 2 die. So I'm going to roll 2. I got an 11, so that's a miss. So he's fired. Next one, got an 8, that's a miss. I usually don't do well with artillery. And a 7. I usually do great for the other side though. Alright, so those are all used up. The Confederate artillery phase is done. Now we move on to the Union artillery phase. Alright, so they're gonna go, they have to roll, it's a 2 to 5. This says 2 to 4, but it's actually 2 to 5. So a 7, that's a miss. Second one gets a 4, so he hits, of course. Alright, so now we're going to roll 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6 to see which one gets a hit. 5. So the last one's going to take a battle damage. And you get, there's the battle damage here. So I just put that under there. And the battle damage goes up to 2. So once you get to 2, after that you're destroyed. Okay, so that was the third one, I believe. Okay, sorry, lost track there. All right, so I think that was the third one. And now we do the Tidwells, and they hit on a 2 or 2 to 3. So miss, miss, and one more is a miss. Okay, so all 3 of those miss. All right, so that phase is over. Now you do the Union event phase. So what you do is you take 4 die and you roll them together and add them. So we have 10, 12, 15, and then you look on here, 15 is reform. So reform means, and you can look here, any Union counters with reduced cohesion make a cohesion test, and if successful, increase cohesion by 1. So we don't have any one that's even on the board yet, so that's a moot point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1 here in reform to show that's done. Now what happens if you land on, if you get a 15 again, what you would do is just go to the next one, next available. All right, so we do this 4 times. 9, 14, 17. So 17 is heavy fire. So I'm going to mark heavy fire or 1. Heavy fire is select target, then roll a d6 on a 1 to 2, reduce cohesion by 1. So what we're going to do is roll on this target, or a table, to see who we're targeting. We're targeting 3, so 14, North Carolina, right here. So we're going to be targeting him. And on a 1 to 2, he, on a 1 to 2, yep. So we got a hit on him. So he goes down from 5 to 4 cohesion. So put cohesion there. Okay. All right, so 2 down, 2 more to go. 2, 4, 8, 9. 9 is heavy fire. Heavy fire is select target, then roll a d6 on a 1 to 2, reduce cohesion by 1. That's same one we did. So we're going to pick our target. Target is number 6, which is a re-roll. So number 3 again. So we're going after him again. And on a 1 to 2, a 1. And on a 1, It's actually a what's called a sharpshooter. So a sharpshooter actually takes out an officer too. So he's going to go down with... He's going to go down to 3. And as your cohesion goes down, it's harder to hit on attacks. And then the officers are going to go down to 3. And when your officers get down to 0, you're not allowed to issue any orders. All right. So, all right, so that's 3. We have one more event. 5, 10, 12. 12 is heavy fire again. Boy, you're just lobbing volleys. All right, so target is number 6 is a reroll. Reroll 5. So 5 is 30th North Carolina. And then on the 1 to 2, get a 5, so they miss. Okay, so we have completed the Union event. Now it's the Union action phase we have to skip. Union action phase is when you have troops on the board for the Union. They're either going to move or they're going to shoot. So now we do Union deployment phase. You only do this on turns 1, 4, 8, and 12, which are highlighted on your turn tracker. So this is turn 1, so we are going to start deploying. All right, so the first Delaware. First Delaware here. We have to roll a d6, see where he gets placed. He gets placed on 3, which is C. So he's there. Then we have 5th Maryland. Goes on 2. Two is C. Okay, so he's on C as well. He can't get in there, so he's going to be like stacked above. So once there's room, then he joins in. Then the last one is 6. And he goes on E. All right. Okay, so now we've completed Union deployment. So now we do the Confederate action phase. Now what you do here is you roll 4 die, and each of these is worth, oops, let me redo that because one jumped out. Okay, so we have 2 4s, a 3, and a 6. So for 4s, you can reload, quick reload, or inspire. 3 is inspire. You can fire, exposed fire, or oblique fire. And then 6 is choose fire, reload, or inspire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 6 to fire. At this guy up here. Move these 4, and you can only use 1 per turn. You can't say fire and then do a reload after it. You have to do just 1 per. Okay, so I have a 3. I can do a fire with the 3. I'm going to have him fire. And then I have 2 4s. Can't really do anything here. Inspire is to move someone's cohesion up, and I can't do that. I can't reload, can't quick reload. So what I'll do, so those are just kind of wasted. All right, so I'm going to fire here. The range is for us is a -2. This is for the Union. So we have a -2, and we are at a 3. So that brings us to a 1. So that's not even going to be worth it. I mean, I can just try to get a 1. All right. So I take my cohesion and subtract the modifier. So it's a -2. So I get a 6, so he misses. So once he fires, turn him sideways. That means he's going to need to be reloaded. Okay, this guy's going to fire. And he gets a 4, so he was -2. He had to get a 3, so he misses. Okay, so both those guys need to be reloaded. All right, and that is the end of the Confederate action phase. And then the end of turn phase, we mark off the turn, and then start over again. So supply phase. This is going to move down. I'm going to put more orders out. Oops. Reset the Confederate artillery. Okay. I'm going to hold off and not fire this turn. So I'll show you what the supply line. So Union artillery phase. So now they're going to do supply line attacks. So they start from this square here. They attack this first. If there's nothing here, then they move to here. So on here, they're going to have to get a 2 to hit. So I have 3 here. So that's a 12, that's a miss. Ah, look at that, a 2. I'm so unlucky. So that wipes that out. The orders are unlimited, so you can just keep putting them back out. Now, they're going to go after this one, but they can't because it's in the farthest position, so he's safe for now. So that ends that, but that's how the supply line fire works. Then we move down to the Union event phase. So we take our 4 die. 7, 12, 13. So 13 is reform. I'm going to put a 2 there. There's no one in the Union's lost their cohesion yet, so they can't reform. And 8, 13, 14 is light fire. So on light fire, select a target, then roll a d6. On a 1, reduce cohesion by 1. Okay. So 4, we're going after 4th North Carolina here. And A 6, he misses. 1, 2, 7, 8. And 8 is a skirmisher. Skirmisher is going after the officers. And on a 1, roll d6 on a 1, reduce officers by 1. A 3, that's a miss. And I have one more roll here. That's 7, 9, 10. Another skirmisher. So we roll 1 d6 and see if it's a 1. And it's a 6, so it's a miss. Okay, so we are finished with the union event phase. Now we go to the union action phase. All right, so you start with the foremost. So if someone was closer, you'd start with them. So we'll start from left to right and see if on a 1 to 4 he moves. On a 5 to 6 he'll try to shoot. A 2 he moves, and for him he moves. And then now this guy gets to come in. Okay. Union deployment phase we don't do because we have to wait till turn 4 to deploy more. Now the Confederate action phase. All right, I got a 1. A 1 is you don't get to do anything. No action available. And then I got a 4, a 2, and a 6. So 4, reload, quick reload, inspire, fire, choose fire, reload, fire, exposed, or oblique. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick reload with him. 6 is a fire. I'm going to do what's called an oblique fire. So firing from the side. You can't fire from this far or this far, but you can right adjacent to the track you can. And then 2 is fire exposed or oblique. I will do an oblique fire here on him. Okay, so we're going to fire here on him. Okay, so I have a -1, so I need a 4 or less. I got a 1. A 1 is what's called devastating fire. Sorry, it's called devastating fire. It's 2 hits and a mini ball token. So I get 2 hits on this guy, which wipes him out. And I get a mini ball token. So a 1 here. And I rotate him. Okay, I'm going to do a quick reload, which automatically I have to take a mini ball. And then he's going to fire at this guy. And he's a 3. He has to get a 1. Oh, wow. Got a 1. And it's devastating fire. So wipes him out. And he moves up to 2 because it was 2 hits. Okay, he's sideways for the reload. This guy's going to shoot at him. He gets a 4, and he needed a 4. So he gets him. So he is down to 1. And when you're down to 1, you're in a crouch. crouch is there you go. It's a negative. Okay. So he shot, he gets turned. All right. So now you can see we're using up ammo here. So we might, on our next supply line, get some ammo in there to help these guys out. All right, so we completed the Confederate action phase, end of turn phase. So we'll cross that off. All right, so we are on turn 3 now. So turn 3 is a supply phase. So remove him down. Now we're gonna get some ammo in there. Here's our ammo. And then we have to mark it off on our sheet. So we only have 4 more that we can send out. Okay, reset the Confederate artillery. We didn't use it. Confederate artillery. I'm going to not fire this time. I'll let them try to go after him. I just worry about, you don't want this targeted, but we'll see if we can get through and not, they'd have to get a 2. They've been kind of lucky so far, so let's see. All right, so first one's gonna roll 11, he misses. Second one, a 4, he misses. Third one, a 4, he misses. Now a 2 to 3 on the tip ball cannons, 7 miss. 7 miss. And a 5 miss. Okay, so he escaped all that. So the Union artillery went. Now Union event phase. Roll these 4. 8, 14, 17. So 17 has already been taken, so we move to the next one is 18. And that's a skirmisher. So we roll, if we get a 1, the officer gets reduced to down 1. Oh my God, we got a 1. So goes down to 2. Okay, so that was the first event. Second is an 11, 6, no, that was a 5. Get back here. 16, 20. 20 is reform. This guy can reform. So he's back to normal. Okay, that was 2, now third event, 7, 8, 12, heavy fire, so we've done that one, that one, that one, so we go to light fire. Light fire is select target, then roll a d6 on a 1. Target is number 3, which is this guy. And a 5 we missed. Okay, now the last event. 2, 3, 5, 10. So we move down to 11 since 10's taken. And that's light fire again. Find out who the target is. Number 3 again. and a 5. He misses. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we did that. All right, so now union events done, union action phase. So the only guy we have is this guy. So a 1 to 4, he moves. A 6, he's gonna take a shot at this guy here, and he is a -2. So I mean they can only go down to a 1. So he has to get a 1. He misses. Okay. Union deployment phase we can't do. Confederate action phase. All right, so release 4. See what we get. Problem is we don't have. All right, a 6. I'm gonna reload him. Reload 4. Reload. Two. Reload. And a 3 is inspire. All right, I'm gonna try to use the inspire to get his cohesion up. Or no. Let's switch that. So he'll reload. So I have to roll a 3 or less to get his cohesion up 1. I got a 2. So he goes up 1. He's now at 4. Okay. He's gonna reload. So he gets turned right side, and this goes to a 2. He's gonna reload. This goes to a 1. And he's gonna reload. This goes to a 1. Okay. So that is the end of the Confederate phase and end of the turn phase. So that is 3 turns. All right, so I've done 3 turns of this game. The next would be a deployment phase. More troops would come in. It gets harder because these troops, they get stronger. These beginning troops are kind of fresh recruits. The other ones have seen more battle when they come in, and they are tougher. They have higher cohesion, so it's harder to kill them. So they get closer and closer. Once they get here, if they move, they get to charge you, and then you have to roll and resolve that. If you get if your cohesion gets down to 0 and they charge, they overrun you and you lose the game. So what you're trying to do is trying to hold the line here as long as you can. So that's playthrough. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be on the lookout for this game coming soon. Thank you so much. Bye.